On this week's episode, we talk again with Joel Dirks as we preview two awesome events coming to Torque Strength and Conditioning, one of which on June 29th is Twin Cities Strongest Hands, and we review and discuss the rare opportunity to learn from one of the industry's best on August 17th at the Vertical Diet and Lifting Seminar with Stan Efferding. Finally, this episode is sponsored by Torque Strength and Conditioning. Torque Strength and Conditioning is a great place to work out and offers a variety of programs such as Torque GPP, Torque Barbell, Torque Fit, personal coaching and wellness, and youth and teen development. We hope you enjoy the podcast.
Well, the good thing, too, is meeting, Dave. Maybe he'd trust us to get him in here one day, too.
That'd be fucking awesome.
But I want to tell you guys, I'll tell you a whole bunch of facts about him because he won't tell you.
Okay.
Like how good he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is who he is.
Well, people like that who are humble are always...
Oh, he's the best, man. He's a great teacher. They call him like the Encyclopedia Strongman. He knows everything about it. You would be like, Dave, 1987 World Strongest Man, who got second?
That's like hearing Louis Simmons speak Louis, where all of a sudden he just rambles off numbers and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And didn't you say he was... I was thinking about this because I feel like you had the same traits with even today, or like when we went to lift with you at Metro, but how he was one of the best teachers individually. If you have a group of people, he's not going to have you do the same thing as me because our implements are so different, our leverages. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm learning that more too because, teaching people how to deadlift, I'm learning, people can't all deadlift the same.
I don't think we're on now, but when you do, just get as close to your
face.
We're on,
but we haven't officially started.
Yeah. But I just think I'm really learning everyone's different, best pulling position more than saying, hey, everyone should use this form.
Tyler and I have talked a lot about that lately. As I first broke out as I first started coaching, it was all about getting people into these positions that visually look good to you and me, that, straight lines, flat back, this and that. And what we're starting to realize is that tension is more important in some of these positions. So if you're able to create tension in a position, and Stuart McGill says this too about the spine is, if you, as long as you have a position and you set tension there and you maintain that tension throughout the movement, it's not dangerous. When you start having flexion and extension under load, that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think controlled movements. That's why, for me that have back issues, I think speed deadlifts are not a good choice. I think everything controlled movements. I try to make every deadlift look the same, whether it's 135 or a lot heavier.
Do you use tempo in your training? Do you count 5 seconds down, pause at the bottom, anything like that? Or do you just try to control it?
No, I think everything's just controlled movements. The best, just everything how my body feels. Everybody kind of knows after an injury, what they can kind of get away with and what they can't.
Yeah.
And I think it's really taught me to slow down with some stuff.
Absolutely.
I think I'll still, I think speed stuff with bench is fine. I think your upper body can handle a little bit better. Maybe it's a lot lighter weights and different spots in the body can handle it better. But I think your low back is, for some people, genetically, you can't handle certain things at all. And there's going to be guys that will look like you and can deadlift 700 pounds for reps and back will never hurt a day in their life. You can have a guy pull 700 once with perfect form and back hurts the rest of his life. So.
Yep, I'm one of those guys.
It takes a lot of time to learn that too. A lot of times it's working on the other aspect too. If you're really good speed wise, then take those slow controlled reps. You can build that extra strength that you need, whether it's skull crushes for bench, not only the bench or something complementary to the deadlift or squat, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
especially isolation movements, time under tension is fantastic.
Yeah.
And maybe you guys can tell me too, because I think pulling your deadlift the same every time, regardless of the weight, not doing speed pulls, teaches your body one movement. And so you're going to be more proficient at your deadlift no matter the weight. Where some people love the speed pulls, but I don't personally see how it's going to translate because you're not going to pull your heaviest pull like that.
I think your thought process on that is exactly right, in my opinion, because studies have shown that technique changes with 90% and above. And speed work is typically done anywhere from all over the place, right? You see some of the multiply guys in the 30, even down in the 35% range. But for a lot of people, anywhere from 60 to 70, somewhere in there, right? And your technique is going to be very much different with those loads than it is going to be with 90%. And it's not going to be specific to the top end, in my opinion. So.
I think maybe bench is different because it's a pause in powerlifting.
Yeah.
So you pause, you want that speed off the chest. I think that's the exception to me, I think, in training. But like when it comes to squats and deadlift, same rep every time, regardless of the weight.
I also think that we should take into consideration like accommodating resistance too. So if you're going to do a bench or a squat or a deadlift and you're pausing at the bottom, whether you have a pause or not, that load is going to increase throughout the range of motion. And so that may, if you're doing speed work with that may be a little bit more specific, or that may help out a little bit more.
Yeah, because that's something I do with just way lighter loads, and I've found carryover, but I'm also not trying to max out right now. I'm just trying to rebuild my deadlift, stuff like that. I'm not a plot. I don't wear a suit and fucking pull 900 pounds either. So I think it's also dependent upon the athlete, but at the same time, if your deadlift, like going back to what Joel said, if your deadlift is different how you do speed deadlift compared to how you actually deadlift, then what the fuck's the point? There's absolutely no carryover. It's a different lift.
Yeah, and just to say, like, we're talking, if you're trying to go for a 1 rep max, you're trying to get stronger, like, that's what we're kind of talking.
Yeah, you need to have that foundation first.
And correlating with that, everything you said, you helped me a lot with my deadlift, and you taught me kind of the way that works for you, and you try to translate to me to just really, when I'm getting locked in that bar, I'm almost, simulating how I am at the bottom of my squat position. And all I'm doing is squatting up, but I'm just gripping the bar with my hands. And that's helped me tremendously because it keeps my body in better position. My chest is up. I'm getting leg drive now. And I feel more confident as the weight comes up. And everything is almost resembling the same lift on my squat on a Saturday as it is a deadlift on a Tuesday. I'm just grabbing the bar. You want to talk a little bit about how important that's been to you?
Absolutely. So the arms are just focal points, just holding on to the bar with the deadlift. And I really think keeping the weight in your hips that can handle the weight. They can handle the load. Your low back can't. And for most people, that's going to be the case. And so to turn it into a squat and just squat straight up, once you get above your knees, you just have to stand up. It's not bending over. Yeah. You're just standing up. So you're making one of the hardest points for most people where they struggle at the very top to finish it. Now you're making it the easiest point. And so I think it's just so much easier on your body, especially if you want to do this long term.
Yeah.
And I think it gives you the potential to do the biggest weight you'll ever be able to do versus a certain form. Sure, you can maybe get to 600-700 pounds with that form, but now you're maxed out there. Mm-hmm. Where I think if you turn it into more of a squat, you can use your legs and you leg press it up. Now I think you can do a lot more because your body can handle it.
That's something too. You look at some guys who do that style. I'm thinking of Fenn right away. He, in a way, he does that.
And let's just say he's 54 years old. He's got 30 years of experience.
Yeah, and he what does he pull? 560?
He pulls up between there and 6, depending.
Yeah, and I mean, think about that. We kind of say moving your center or moving a pile of dirt and training with a spoon, not a shovel, right? Slowly over time, without getting injuries, all of a sudden you're not going to. Oh, I just made progression, but then I'm set back 6 to 8 weeks. I got hurt. Mm-hmm. So if it's slow and progressive the whole time, I think that's key.
I think too is you always work to your strong points. There's always going to be people who their back is incredibly strong. They can just bend over and stiff leg deadlift, whatever weight's on the bar, and it's not a problem. It's all dependent. So there's always people. I would never teach anybody to do what Larry Wheels does: run up and just yank the bar.
Yeah, everyone has their cross to bear in training. Yeah.
But I just think it's going to lead to your biggest deadlift ever, and for strongman style, I love it because now I say it's a second event. We just had a deadlift for reps, and I'm using my legs to deadlift, and then my back's not fried after the deadlift. And now I got a truck pull, okay? So I'm not fried. My back's not fried trying to do a truck pull or some kind of loading event picking up things, all right? My body's not fried because I use big muscles instead of these little muscles, and your back's, all locked up. And
exactly. That goes back to using their main movers and not a stabilizing muscle for a mover, which most people do. They use spinal erectors to fucking do everything.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So I just think to take the time and figure out where the best mechanics for you to pick it up are, and that's going to lead to your biggest pull. But it's going to take time. You can't switch to it today and it's going to work and you're going to pull a crazy number. Mm-hmm. You got to put 3 months. So say 12, 14 deadlift sessions into learning that movement and do it proficiently, and then build up.
Yeah.
Don't just be like, okay, well, my max is 500, so I'm going to put on 405 and try the new technique. Now I'm going to try 55. No, slow down. But that's the way we all do it.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Slow your roll.
Yeah. But that's how, we've all been there. We've all tried okay, well, let's try this now, And we've all done it, or guilty of it, so but it's tough. It's tough to slow down, especially when it's new and exciting. So.
Yeah, especially when you feel that kind of light bulb moment with something new, where you're like, oh. So you try to push past what you probably should be doing. Yeah. We've all done that. I've done it.
Yeah. That's why we're coaches, trying to prevent other people.
Yeah, we've fucked up as much shit as you can imagine, and that's why when we say listen to us, listen.
Yeah, exactly. If more people would understand, hey man, I'm telling you this, so you would have to do what I do.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes, you know what? Some people they have to. They have to.
Yeah.
You can't I've tried to help so many people with stuff hey, you need to do this to fix this issue, and they're like, and I'm like, okay, go break, come back, then you'll listen to me. That's fine. Some people have to do that. They have to go through that process.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but
And with that, let me ask you this too, Joel, as we try to talk about keeping your training, and we talked about keeping everything the same and the movements within your deadlift and your bench, your deadlift and your squat, and they correlate and work with each other and keeping the tension and everything. What are your thoughts on trying different implements like a safety squat yoke bar or a camber bar? Do you implement those very much in your training or not?
Yeah, when I have access to them. I like the safety squat bar. For me, I think it's easier sometimes because I squat so vertical. I think if you're more of a back squatter, the safety bar becomes harder.
Yeah.
And what I think a lot of people don't do with the safety bar is when you're at the bottom and you're coming up, push up with your hands into the safety bar, drive everything straight up. Everybody wants to pull down. So now what you're doing is you're putting all the weight leaning over yourself. Yeah, you're pulling everything forward, and you're putting your body in a bad, risky position where all that weight's on your low back.
Yeah.
So
that safety bar is humbling.
Yeah.
I suck at it, so but it's nice. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
And rather than I can't load as much weight, but I still get that that maximum effort stimulus on my body without putting the load on it. So for me, it helps.
Yeah, I think it's great to not put the load directly on your spine where the bar is.
Easy
on your shoulders, everything like that.
Yeah.
It's a good break. I just think a lot of people pull down on that bar, and it's like.
Oh, I learned that the hard way first time because you're in there, you're like, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that's harder. Yeah. And then you push. You got to learn.
Yeah.
And before we get into the meat and potatoes here about our GURP event coming up, you want to talk? You talked a little bit earlier about how you've had some back injuries, and I know Ryder has as well. What do you do to try to strengthen that after surgeries and injuries right now in today's training? How do you work around that or work within that?
Sure. So I think there's a few exercises I learned that I can't do. I can't do a leg press or a hip sled because it pushes down and kind of opens me up too much, and then it's closing and there's so much weight pushing down there. Like a concept rower, I can't do. It's too much bending over, stuff like that. But I think reverse hypers with no weight is number one exercise anyone should do. Number two are planks for the back to help with that, with your core stabilization. And I think mobility roll is the biggest.
Okay.
No one wants to roll their glutes and all that, their low back. And, I got. I think it's probably the code to have a metal door between the garage and the house, fire code. So what I do is I use that door and I put a ball and I roll with my back almost every day.
Oh wow!
The door's all dented in or whatever. But, you can't do it on the drywall. You have to go right through. So that's why I'm just saying use that door or a concrete wall somewhere. But you got to roll that thing almost every day. You have to think most of us are sitting a lot of the day, and so it gets so tight, and we don't use our glutes, and we lose our glutes, and then your back's compensating for your glutes, and it's not good. So to break that up, to keep those muscles going, it's so important.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. There's a lot of people out there that go through those injuries, and we complain about them a lot, but do we do something about it? And that's the difference.
Yeah.
So now for the meat and potatoes of this, we really want to talk about the Grip Sport Twin Cities Strongest Hands 2019 coming to Torque Barbell and Torque Strength Conditioning in Woodbury, Minnesota on June 29th. And our promoter, Joel Dirks, is here with Alan Heineck. How do you pronounce it? Heineck. And Tyler Reiter. And do you want to talk about the events we have going on that day, Joel?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got a couple different grip events from different grip companies. So there's a handful of different grip companies that make different implements. We're just using, I think, like 2 different ones. So there's the first event will be, I think it's a Fat Bastard is the name of the company, Fat Bastard Barbell or something like that.
Yeah.
They have the Crusher, which is probably one of the best one-hand, thick bar, rolling type implements. It's very similar to like a Rolling Thunder, but it's a lot better designed. It's a metal heavy handle, and it spins a lot better, so it's more difficult.
Any idea what do you think the respectable top lifts will get to on that at all?
Sure. So if you want to check out too, and they can come back to it, is go to gripsport.org, and there's like a top 100 list for all these different events. I think to get over 180 is very good on the Crusher.
Wow.
200 is probably your top 15, 20, like all time.
Okay.
So let's say you're like a 220, 230-ish on a good Rolling Thunder, one that actually rolls.
Yeah.
Like you would probably be like 190, 200 on the Crusher.
Oh, shit, okay.
So yeah, it's going to cut off 10% or so.
And you're picking this implement off the ground, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be a one-hand deadlift. It's essentially like a one-hand rack pull deadlift.
Okay.
So people will get 4 attempts. You get as many attempts as you want, or many tries in the 60 seconds. You complete the lift, good lift. Next lift, you can go up. If you miss it, you would stay at the same weight, or you could go up just like powerlifting style. But you'll get 4 attempts to get the heaviest weight you can.
And so what counts as like a good lift?
Sure. So stand all the way up, just like a fully erect deadlift, and you'll get a down signal from Alan, and you have to control the weight down. You can't just drop it, just like a powerlifting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, we did some of that stuff. What was that we did first today?
So today we went over some training to kind of prepare ourselves for what was coming. And we did the axle. Joel brought some implements here.
Yep, we did the Iron Mind Hub, so we'll talk about that next. So the Iron Mind Hub replicates like a deep dish 45-pound plate, kind of, is what it replicates. So it's through Iron Mind. That's going to be the same thing. So it's on like a 15-inch loading pin with a carabiner. You'll pick it up. There's going to be 2 different ways. You can just go thumb straight down like a neutral grip, or you can turn your thumb in towards your palm. So you have 2 options with that, and then all fingertips have to be touching it, minus the thumb can be touching it or sideways. That's kind of the exception. And then same thing, stand all the way up, fully erect deadlift. Alan will give you a down signal and follow the implement down.
Very nice. Then what are the other 2 events then?
So then next we will go to the Flask. That's from Barrel Strength Systems. That one is like a Y part of like a, say like 245s put together, the Y part of it, but it's a hollow system, and we can add weight to it. That's gonna be the same thing. So it's one hand, whichever hand you want to use, 4 attempts. In 60 seconds each attempt. Stand up all the way, fully erect deadlift. Alan will give you a down signal, and good lift. Follow it down.
Very nice, very nice.
Yes. And then last, we'll have the Iron Mind Axle double overhand axle deadlift. That is with thumbs around, no hook grip or no thumbs around, and fully erect deadlift. Hold for a second, down signal, and follow it down just like a powerlifting down.
That's really interesting. Like powerlifting, you have 3 different movements. Weightlifting, you have a couple different movements. But with this, it's all the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but it's all using the same muscles. So how does that affect you going from that first movement to that last one?
Sure. So, I think it can, for some people that like maybe not train for it, it could really affect, their grip could go really fast. What's good for some people is their left hand and right hand a little bit different in strengths on different things. Like the hub, some people might be better with their right, and then the Flask, they're better with their left. And so to know, and what's nice is in that 60 seconds, you can get as many attempts as you want. You can switch hands, do whatever, turn the implement, add some chalk to your hands, whatever you need to do. But I think to try to switch your hands as much as you can.
Yeah.
And you can use both hands in each attempt for every event, right?
Yeah, and whatever you can do to pick it up within the rules. in that 60 seconds.
And how long, sometimes powerlifting meets, Olympic lifting meets can last all day long. Do these typically move a little bit quicker versus depending on how many entries are in the event, or?
Yeah, so it's always entry dependent.
Yeah.
But, we just have one loading pin. We're just going to start low, jump in, you make it, we add, say, 5 pounds, and then everyone keeps going and just rising bar. So we're not constantly taking plates off. Essentially, we're not going to take any off. We'll just keep adding.
Sure.
And just work our way up to whoever can lift the heaviest.
Then you pretty much, once you can't lift it, you're done for that event. You kind of...
Yeah, you get your 4 attempts.
Yes.
But yeah, so
4 attempts per event?
Yeah, 4 attempts per event.
And it's not regulated like 2 per arm. You can take all 4 in the same arm.
You can do all 4 right arm. You can skip any weights you want. You can jump to whatever you want. Very similar to powerlifting. Okay. It's just you just can't go down. You can't ever take your weight down.
Okay. And it looks like it's a pretty reasonable fee of only $30, right?
Yeah, $30. What we do is we just have to pay $25 for a sanction fee, which is great because a lot of organizations charge you a whole bunch of money to put on a contest, which they don't because they want to grow the sport, just like what we're trying to do here with this contest. And so that $30. Say we have 10 contestants, that'll be $300 minus 25, so $275. That will go back to prize money that we'll figure out how to divide depending on who's in what category.
Awesome.
Or division, I should say.
Awesome. Nice. And did you say, I don't know if you want to announce it now, is there a fun little event at the end?
So at the end, there's an Iron Mind Crush the Dust challenge that Alan will bring.
That name is great.
Yeah, it's great. Crush the Dust, yeah. So pretty cool event. So at the end, if anybody wants to try, it's a 200-pound rolling thunder, and then you have to go into like a number 2 crusher and then a 45 Iron Mind hub. So if you do all those, I don't know if there's a time limit or anything like that, but essentially you would just do one right after the other. And if you do all 3, then they'll send you out a shirt and maybe a certificate even. Yeah, a certificate as well. So
besides you, do you think anybody else will get that at that event?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I know I've done it, and Ulyss did it a couple years ago at King Kong. Remind me of Ulyss's training partner.
Oh, Ken.
I'm sure Ken will probably.
Oh yeah. Those two will be.
Those 2 goons will.
I think you could probably do it.
Thank you.
I think the hardest part is probably the 200 rolling thunder.
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
On a real rolling
when
thunder.
When you're done with the 4 events prior to that too, that's going to be tough.
That's tough.
So
it's kind of like it resembles arm wrestling. You got to have just a rubber arm to keep going. I feel like enough. But that goes with, so if someone doesn't have all these implements, how would you suggest they go about training for this event?
I know Lowe's has a couple of them. Lowe's has a rolling thunder. I'm there a lot with the hub. There's an axle as well at Lowe's. I know a lot of gyms have axles. You guys have similar style axle here. I just think to hit some grip stuff and then jump in and do it. Don't worry so much about training or numbers or anything like that. Just jump in and try. It's a fun event where no one's going to care. It's just like today when we're training, everyone's encouraging. Hey, try this, because you don't know. Just see what you can do and work towards it and meet some new people, and then you can find new training partners.
And I think the really cool thing about today's training with everybody in here, you don't have to be a giant, a mammoth, a strong man like you. We have every different type of body style in here, and the cameraman here, little Tony. What are you, Tony?
He whooped my ass.
How much you weigh, Tony? 185. You're probably 5'8". Yeah, and you pretty much outgripped everybody except for myself and Joel over here. It was impressive, and you got the 25-pound plate. All you did everything but curl it. It was really, so if you're listening and you're not a mammoth human being, you have a really good chance coming here and prove something. You might do much better than everybody else, actually.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. That was impressive.
Yeah, that was really cool. And sometimes, like some of these guys who do construction all day, or working on cars, working with your hands all day, or even a painter working with your hands all day.
There you go.
I really think, like we talked about, time and attention, these guys that are working with their hands all day long, you would be shocked. They'll probably come in and do just amazing numbers and have no idea even if that's good or bad.
Yeah, going back to training for those of you out there who don't have implements, I think something that clicked in my mind today was when we had the 2 25-pound plates. We were just kind of gripping the edges. That's a really easy one to periodize. So you just kind of put 2 plates together, and you hold on the smooth sides, and you just work your way around the outer edges, work your way from 5s, 10s, 25s, up to 35s. that's a piece of equipment that any gym has. Also, just hanging from like a pull-up bar, things like that too.
Absolutely.
Help a lot.
That's funny you say that because how Mike, our buddy the Slice, Condon was showing you a video earlier, like an hour ago, that he was hanging from a park, like just at a regular just kids park, just hanging to build his grip for this competition. You can easily do that as well.
Absolutely.
He's a big kid.
I really don't overthink it. Don't overthink grip at all, man. Just hit some stuff. You'll be fine. Yeah, hold on to it. Yeah, to see how long you can hold on.
And I think one of my favorites is doing the farmer's carries. And you can even do it with dumbbells. You don't necessarily need the biggest handle. It probably helps have a larger handle, but dumbbells even work too.
Yeah, or even another idea is if people have like the fat grips, throw those on a regular bar. It's going to be very similar to the axle deadlift and work those.
Yeah. And when we've done a few of those in the past, people want to try this. I know for holding the fat grip deadlift, the important things you want to talk about, just keeping it away from your body so you're not wrestling against your body, right?
Yeah, don't wrestle against your body. Just have some air in between your body and the bar. Yeah. And squeeze.
There you go. or if you're going grocery shopping, go with plastic and just carry them in two hands.
One trip, motherfucker.
Yeah. We all done that. Like, I am not walking in that house and coming out again.
No chance.
That's awesome. All right, Joel, so to wrap this up, if people want to sign up for this, where do they go to? You said the website, they go to you, to the email Tyler. How do we sign up for this?
All three. They can do anything. You, one of the names that's on there, any website that you see on the list, just hit us up and we'll put you in the right direction. But yeah, like I said, $30. Come have a good time.
Absolutely.
And you're definitely going to meet some cool people.
Yeah, and hopefully, guys, go to our Instagram page at the Iron Huddle. I know Joel Dirks has it on his. Nick Tadlock has it on his.
We have it on
Tyler
Torque.
Ryder has it on his. And Mad Dog Madline has it on his. And it's on Torque as well.
Yep.
Okay, so that'll be fun. Anything else you want to talk about the grip competition at all, or?
No, like I said, don't overthink it. Jump in, try it out. We can always put people in the right direction. We're definitely going to help people when they come and show up and don't know how to do stuff. Alan's going to go over every single event before the rules, show everybody what they can and can't do, and it'll be a great learning experience. The best time to do stuff is just now. Don't wait.
And I think that's a great point because I, at least myself, we've been lifting weights for a long time. I have never even known or heard of a grip competition until you joined us about a year ago. And now that we're actually going to pull one on and have fun with it, I think it's a great idea by you guys and to invite people up and try something new. It should be a blast.
Yeah, I would really highly encourage guys and girls who do strongman because your grip is so important. Yeah. And this is a great way to keep working on your grip without taxing your body. So it'd be really good idea for them to do that.
And have you had anybody sign up yet? And if so, what are between the guys and the girls, is there quite a bit even, or is it?
It's early, so I think we've had it up for like a week and a half now.
That's not even a week. I think it was Monday.
Yeah. So I've had a couple people sign up, like two guys so far. Okay. Maybe three people. So one guy they'll be in the 50 open, and then like I said, didn't even look at what their weights are.
Awesome. Okay.
Like any competition, everyone floods in the last two.
Exactly.
2 weeks.
Well, especially when it's $30. They're just like, I'll show up and I'll just give them $30. Yeah. Which is fine.
That's fine.
My main thing is to get people to try it, man. Because like you guys said, you guys never done it before, and it's a lot of fun because it builds camaraderie more than anything.
Oh, it's huge. I wish everybody had a chance to meet someone like you who was so passionate about it and teaches us this stuff, because it's something that we just overlooked, never really did. But like we were talking today when we were all jumping in and trying these events, you were just saying, man, it's just fun. It's just something that's low key. You can hop in and do.
There's no pressure.
What's that?
There's no pressure.
Well, there is when you have to beat the world's women record.
When one of my employees who's 10 years younger and 100 pounds less kicks my ass, now it's on. But it's a lot of fun.
We can edit this out too, Anthony. But do you guys want to talk about the strongman event now, or wait? Because we don't know yet, or do you just not want to do it?
We don't know yet.
So it's not even bringing it up. Okay. Just have Anthony add all the sides. Didn't know if you wanted to.
Yeah, Anthony. Thank you. Another Anthony.
We can keep going with the grips if I.
So no, we can keep going. Should we talk about Stan then?
I think so.
Yeah. Sorry, I completely forgot about that even.
Yeah, Stan. My bad. So now we can just.
All right, Anthony, now we'll pick it back up again. And so then also we got another event coming on. It is in August. Was it 15th?
17th.
Way off. August 17th. You want to tell us who's coming?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got Stan the Rhino Efferding, the world's strongest bodybuilder, coming right here to Minnesota, Woodbury at Torque Strength Conditioning. So that's a huge event just in the name itself. and then to have him talk about nutrition and supplements and everything like that. And then on top of that, he's going to do one-on-one coaching for squat, bench, and deadlift and critique people's form. And what's nice is he's got, over a dozen squat racks. So we'll just have a couple people at each squat rack, and he'll go around and adjust people.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Have someone his caliber, and he travels the world now doing these and helping people besides his YouTube videos and his own channel and Instagram, and just seeing him from his competition days as a bodybuilder into powerlifting, and now what he's doing with his vertical diet. It's impressive. It's gonna be. We're very, very lucky to have the opportunity to have him here.
Yeah, I mean, not very often, especially like in this area, do we get someone of that caliber come over here to do this kind of seminar, especially comparable to a concert or other big seminar stuff. $150 for the whole day, 5 hours or whatever it is, isn't, I don't really think, too much to ask the people for especially what they're going to learn. Stan's probably the biggest name in nutrition right now.
Yeah.
And so to have him here is huge.
Yeah, he's been around, I think, for a long time. I think his story of going into college is really undersized, undernutrition kid, and putting on 100 pounds over 10 years or so, like, it's a long battle. And then him even being able to lose weight to compete or to do powerlifting. He's been around all sides of everything. So to have his knowledge and expertise and be able to give back to their people is really once in a lifetime to be around a person like that, right? It's pretty unique.
Yeah, absolutely. To learn from someone that's been at the top at both sports or two sports, is very, very far and few between to have that opportunity, and we should really take advantage of stuff like that to learn from this, learn from his mistakes, learn from what he's been around. He's trained with the best.
Yeah.
He's trained with Mark Bell, he trained with Flex Wheeler, all these guys. He won his pro card. Strongest bodybuilder. I mean, he squatted upper 8s and deadlifted right around 8, maybe right around there, and then bench was well over 5 something.
And he does a lot of nutrition for the strongman guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what's cool too. Is it doesn't necessarily have to be a strongman athlete. It doesn't have to be a powerlifter. It can be anybody. He talks about how he works with physique competitors, bikini chicks, people all across the board. Just regular gym guys that implement this diet, because the way I explain to people, it's not necessarily a diet. It's a way to get all your nutrients and vitamins through food, not through supplementation. And so you're giving your body all the nutrients it needs so it can run at 100%. So it's essentially like your car. If you don't have all the fluids in your car, it ain't gonna work right.
It ain't gonna work right.
And a lot of us miss that because, like a lot of people cut out salt and think salt is bad. But that's how our muscles fire. That's how we operate. And I look at so many coaches, especially at the high school level, like teaching football, like, so much water, so much water, so much water. They're flushing all the nutrients out. And that's why the kids on the sideline cramping up is, he drank 2 gallons of water, and he's cramping up because he flushed all his nutrients. There's nothing in him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
and with that, it's another good thing too. I'm sure everybody's seen a video or heard a podcast with Stan on it, because he's all over the place, just giving his knowledge away, which is great to have. And if you get a chance, go listen to some of his exactly what Joel was talking about, whether it's the salt intake or the training, the nutrition. Go listen to his Rhino rants. Those are some of the best things he puts out. Just driving his vehicle, and or he's going for a walk, and it's 10-minute walks. Like, he's so elaborate on the topic, and it's research. He knows the name of the doctor, the author. He visits them, and it's just such detailed information you really don't get anywhere else.
Yeah, and the one thing I want to mention too is, like, just because you've seen all these different YouTube videos with them and those rants and stuff like that, doesn't mean you know everything that he's saying. So I think to come to this and find out more and ask personalized questions is going to give you more insight to how to fix what you're having problems with.
Yeah.
And then to be able to fix your squat, bench, deadlift form, from him that you can't get from the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's only so much you can learn from a video. Like hands-on, you have to be hands-on. Mm-hmm. Me and you have said that. When I go coach seminars and other things, like, well, I watched this video, and I'm like, yeah, but it's a video. Just like online coaching can be more difficult. I mean, we got someone in the room like that with Stan Efferding. $150. Shit, most people spend more than that in a month going out to eat. So you can't beat that value. It's gonna be it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
And even seeing him transform himself over the years when he was a powerlifter, his squat stance I noticed is much wider, and struggles to get down, keeping that tension we're talking about. Now he still hops in the gym and he's doing 500-600 pounds or more for reps to close stance, whatever he wants.
700.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's incredible. Which I give him a lot of credit for too. Is he like you're talking about, Joel is kind of bringing on and giving back to the grip world and the strongman world. It seems like he loves to promote a lot of these other younger lifters now, and he's bringing a lot of publicity to them too. So you may get a chance to meet him, and he may get a chance to meet you, and you can help each other out much longer than this one day. But it might start something new, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look at how giving out all this free information has worked out well for him. Mm-hmm. This diet is huge. I don't even think he wears this cooler shirt anymore. He just wears the vertical diet shirt.
Yeah.
Because he don't have to really sell it anymore. He just goes and people know right away the vertical diet guy,
And you've been doing the vertical diet with Sam for a while too, right?
Yeah. So I've been really good about it when I was training for a powerlifting contest. I've been like 50-50 lately.
Horizontal?
Yeah, so I'll post it too. I'm not shy, but I'll post some horizontal stuff. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, I think it's great, man. When I'm doing it 100%, I feel great. I feel strong.
Yeah.
I'm at the gym. I'm not tired. I'm not fatigued. And I really think for me, it's been awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, we've all done it. I still do it with some adjustments. I don't go horizontal, that's for sure. But that's something I didn't realize how much I wasn't eating or some of the other things I needed until I started.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how lean and strong you can get by doing it.
You just get you get stuck in something that's just your new normal, and you forget what it's like to feel these other things, to feel that energy in the gym, to feel good. It's just your new normal sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of that old saying, you don't know what you don't know, and that's
Until you know.
And it's another goal to work towards too. You see a lot of times on his Instagram page, Stan is posting these people that have made these transformations, or body-wise or strength-wise. It's awesome to see, and it kind of gives you that placebo effect, or at least if you're attempting and trying and staying within the vertical diet for a while, you kind of feel like you're making such progress, not only for performance, but recovery, like you guys are talking about, is huge. Being able to come back the next day and still have the energy to have another great workout goes a long way, and sleep even better again, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think sleep is number one, like he says, man. If you're not recovered from today's workout, how are you going to train hard tomorrow?
My favorite quote from that book is it was something about supplements. If you're like asking your bros what supplements they're taking and you're not getting enough sleep, you're stepping over $100 bills to pick up dimes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's something
great.
like when I meet new clients or someone comes in, right away, one of the first questions they ask me, supplements. I'm like, well, how are you sleeping and eating? Well, I'm like, just the fact you started with that, don't even waste your fucking time or money on supplements.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not worth it.
Oh, yeah. Sleep, nutrition, number one. And for me, and I'll say that a bunch, for me, the vertical diet's easy because I like it. I don't get sick of the beef and rice and the salt. I don't get sick of it. Versus I've done where I'll cut down a little bit and I'll go chicken and rice, and it's just not the same. Chicken, it's just
Which makes sense, because I think he said after years of his training in nutrition, the reason he changed it was because it was easier on his gut health, right? And better for his gut health.
Yeah. And he just talks about how much more nutrients, the B vitamins, the iron, the zinc, all that stuff in the red meat that you don't get in the chicken. Plus what they feed the chickens. If we as regular people went and saw what they feed the chickens and what the chicken coop looks like, I don't think you would eat it.
That's why I don't eat pork.
Yeah.
I worked on pig farms growing up. No way.
I mean, people might say the same thing about beef, but I mean, you can get grass-fed, beef and stuff like that. Where the chickens, a lot of them eat soy, and I am so anti-soy.
Yeah.
Well, I think he even mentioned that he's has an allergic reaction to soy, I believe, or some sort of like cooking oil that restaurants cook it in.
So, and people aren't going to like this, but I don't really ever go to Chipotle anymore because now they use soy oil to cook all their stuff in.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm out, bro.
Yeah, I got turned off by it.
Really?
And one of my newest things, everything I feed my kid, I check the labels. Everything has soy in it. Everything. The breading and mini corn dogs, like these pre-made pancakes that they have for kids for breakfast. Every little thing has soy in it.
Little Debbie's don't do that. Son of a bitch.
I hope that would change some things.
Joe, can you tell us a little bit about your beef with soy?
I just think I don't think there's any proven studies per se, from what I found, like 100% evidence. But the way we process soy here is different than other countries. than some other countries that consume like just soy, the soybean. But there's some studies that like the soy lecithin or like some of the soy can affect testosterone. It can affect brain development in children.
Estrogen too, I believe.
Yeah, it can affect the estrogen. So like I don't want my wife to eat it either. I try to because to just keep her hormones balanced. Like if you can take in less hormones and try to keep everything neutral in your body or how it's supposed to be, I think is better.
Well, I think too with how society is right now, our bodies aren't ready for what we have. Everything's ready at our fingertips. Like realistically, 40, 50 years, probably 50 years ago, we're all eating pretty bland, simple foods. Where now everything's processed and all these things are added. And people look back, you look back at the 50s, people had high-fat diets, but we didn't have the cancer rates or obesity rates we do now.
Yeah.
Right? Where now you look at everything as processed, has soy, has palm oils, all this canola.
I mean, look at those products too. It's high profit margin, and it'll sit on the shelves for ever. Yeah. If you guys haven't heard of Food Lies, definitely check out Food Lies on Instagram or the website. A lot of really good information about that kind of stuff. They just posted a video about that, kind of a tangent, but yeah, it is kind of crazy. My mom she survived breast cancer twice, and the doctors told her to stay away from soy for the same reasons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my ex-girlfriend her mom had breast cancer, and there's 3 sisters, and there was like 40 or 50% chance one of the sisters have it. So they couldn't do birth control, like just anything to increase their estrogen. They all like had to stay away from it, just because. And a lot of it was food. Yeah. And that's, it goes a long way.
Like meal replacement shakes are really big for weight loss now. A lot of different. I won't name names, but there's a lot of different companies that are doing like meal replacement shakes and stuff like that, and they're physician-backed programs and this and that. And the ingredients in a lot of them, the protein is coming from soy, and it's really disheartening. You're taking this billion trillion dollar industry, weight loss, whatever it is, and you're almost like feeding them a different problem. Like, let's get rid of this problem for you, but
nobody wants to go after the actual problem and tackle with a solution.
Yeah. No, people you go look at your protein cookies. You go look at any protein bar.
The healthy alternative.
They'll have, it might have some whey isolate in it, but then the next ingredient is soy protein isolate or whatever. So it's soy protein, most of it, because it's cheap.
I was gonna say, is it just because it's cheap and it's easy to mass produce? Is that why?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what they're doing. It's cheap, and then they have better margins and stuff like that. But let's say it's not even bad for you. I just think it can't hurt to stay away from it, and for like what's hard for people like say vegans and stuff like that is most of it is soy. And so say they're having tofu, that's soy. And I think to stay away from it is definitely a good choice.
Yeah. It's got to be hard especially you eat a vegan, they're like, how do you get protein? And like, there's protein in vegetables. Right away they come at you. I'm like, I'm just asking. Sarah, sorry.
Well, the biggest thing is your nutrients then. Yeah. Your B vitamins. And Stan talks about that, which is awesome, is you can do that diet. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. And I don't care. I just don't want to do it. But where are you getting your B vitamins from? Where are you getting this vitamins from? You have to see where can you get these vitamins and nutrients from in other food then. You have to find different sources, because you're not getting it. You're not eating beef, so you're not getting the B vitamins. You're not, you got to find other sources.
That's at the end of the day, that's one thing we always look for, the quick fix, and it's like just food. Just eat food.
Real food.
Food.
Minimally processed.
Yeah. First thing I tell people, they're like, oh, what should I eat? Food without labels, man. It doesn't have ingredients. It is what it is. Yeah. Beef is beef. There's no ingredients.
There's a box, it ain't food, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it takes a long time to adjust and take that first step too, because we've been so ingrained for such a long time for easy convenience, yada yada. So to have that mindset to change, take that first step, and maybe dab at the paycheck a little bit more too, but for a better result, right? But once you get into that, you get into that rhythm where I actually feel better because I'm eating better. I'm eating real food. Goes a long way at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It takes time to get there, but it does definitely work.
Well, yeah, it's a good example. I can't remember exactly what part of it is, but some people are like, oh, carbs are bad. I'm like, no, let's talk about that. Like, China for how many thousands of years eat rice, tons of rice, right? Real rice, not the Minute Maid crap. So now all of a sudden, now they have access to refined sugars and carbs and everything else, like pastas and breads and all this other stuff. And now you're looking at a country that's starting to actually become overweight.
It's a completely different animal, like sugar versus rice. Stan just posted something the other day too about people who eat white rice have lower instances of obesity.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Well, and I always talk to people too about it, is so much so in your heritage.
Oh yeah.
So say like you're talking about these people in China, for thousands of years they didn't have this, all these refined carbs and all that stuff. They're just eating white rice, so their bodies have never been designed to process that. So then once you give that the American diet to them, their body's not going to know how to do with it. It's just going to store it as fat.
Exactly. Look at the French.
Yeah,
dude, they are not known for being they're not overweight, and now they eat bread and fat and butter. Like that's all they eat. But it's real fucking bread. Exactly. Like where I'm Norwegian and German, so like if I stick to what I should be eating, if I'm not, I can't eat a lot of sausages and shit like. Most people shouldn't, but I'm just saying, like, if I eat really rich foods, I digestively just cannot handle it. I have to eat really bland, boring ass food, which for me, vertical diet steps right in. So salting it, everything else, I can do that every day, and it works insanely well.
Yeah, and that's the other big point is the digestion. People don't like to talk about it, like, oh, my stomach hurts, and it puts me in the bathroom, stuff like that. But that's the biggest thing is people notice if they stick to this. It's like, oh, my stomach's really good, man. Like, I haven't felt like this, like, I'm normal. I guess.
You don't know either. Like, I didn't know how bad it was until I started it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm not bloated. And, like, that was the huge thing for me, bloat. So now I can't, if I have a beer, done.
Yeah.
Done. Like, I'm like Santa Claus and just feel like shit. Like, now you know. You don't know until you know, man. Like,
but it probably happened before, but you didn't think of it.
But, I just didn't. That was the normal. That was
exactly.
my normal.
Like you were saying, the normal. But, let's say I go have some massive cheat meal, and boom, you got to go. Your stomach's a mess. Yeah. But you don't think about it. You just think, I ate a whole bunch of food. Well, no, it's because you can't process it like that. Your stomach can't handle that. So it makes you start thinking. It makes you think of how I can take care of my body better.
Yeah. And vice versa, once you do start treating your body better, eating better, sleeping better, you see a vein pop in your shoulder or arm, and you're on cloud nine. You're feeling great.
Then you're hooked, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. Exactly.
That's all they need.
Yes. But let's go the other way real quick. What's been the best cheat meal you've had all year?
Oh,
if you can
man.
pick, maybe that's too far for us. The last 2 weeks, maybe. What's been the best cheat meal?
Well, like I told you, I was sick, and that's why I sound so congested. His last guy I went through Taco John's. They had 5 soft shells for $5.
Looked delicious.
So I crushed that with some potato lays and cheese. You can't beat the potato lays.
Dude, but those potatoes, they're so salty and so delicious and crunchy.
They're perfect.
A little nacho cheese every once in a while.
Did you ever do the
6-pack in a pound?
Yes. Yes. Didn't even have to finish the sentence. We become best friends. Yep.
Yeah. So I think it's I think to stay sane, you have to go eat something once in a while.
Nick, how about you?
Best cheat meal?
Last couple of weeks, I think you had a great post the other day about how you spent your whole day in $200 shopping at Costco for healthy food, and then you go home and you order a pizza.
You're so tired from shopping. Fuck.
I'm like, I ain't gonna make shit. We call Sarpinos. I don't know. Give me a minute to think about my last cheat meal.
Well, I'll just tell you, as Joel was texting me what he had last night, I was scarfing down a deluxe double from Culver's and some cheese curds. So that was mine.
Nice.
Getting ready for a big lift.
Culver's is nice.
I think I'd have to go with the same. We've had Culver's probably twice a week for the last couple of weeks, and I get that double butter burger and sub cheese curds for the fries.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the thing. How many times I've probably ordered, sub yours included the cheese curds over the fries and just the fries. It's hard to say no to the cheese curds.
For me, actually, I started working with Kim Dirks on my nutrition.
Now you're all high and mighty.
No.
Listening.
No, but so I actually realized I wasn't eating enough. Which when I tell people that, like, really? No, I wasn't eating enough. I mean, more now. Love it. Right away, she's like, don't cheat for 2 weeks. I want to see what happens to your body. I'm like, man, it's summer. Saturday rolls around. I'm drinking some whiskey. So right away, I told her Sunday. She's like, thank you for being honest. So that was my cheat last Saturday. Whiskey.
What made me think of it is Nick said something about pizza.
Yeah.
And a great thing for people to look at is because I know everyone always crushes frozen pizzas. look at the label. Almost every single pizza is going to be soy protein. All of them are just
I've never
filled
looked
with
at
that.
that.
I never looked at it till a few weeks ago. And now, there's only one I found at Walmart. It's called Home Run Pizza.
It is not.
It is not. Does not have any soy in it.
What about Heggies or Hedgies?
I have tried to check it.
Oh, we gotta check it out.
But
They are so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, Bob Jones? You want a pizza?
Nick, throw it in.
Yeah, your cheap ones, your Jack's, your Tombstone, the Walmart
All
brand.
soy.
Oh, I'm
just
sure those are
filled with
such a
they're
mass-produced
so
pizza.
good.
So
They're so good. and
But
they're
if
so
you're throwing
cheap.
a pizza in, do you really think about the soy at that point?
Now I do.
Okay.
yeah, but that's the thing. You have a
Okay.
pizza like that, and then you have like a real pizza.
And it can destroy you, yes.
yeah.
You feel
Yeah,
horrible.
there's just so many things I didn't look at, and I want to see how they change.
Yeah.
And see if they maybe do make a change.
Yeah.
And maybe there are changes you can't really see on the outside.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. All of a sudden, soy, there's something about it. And maybe having a kid and seeing what they put in all their food
Oh, absolutely.
and read about it.
I've never looked, but I just talking about all this wonder what's in the formula, that they have for kids out there.
That's gotta be
Some of the
very-
cheap,
yeah.
especially some of the cheap stuff that's on the shelves.
Yeah, I didn't thought
Not even that. If you're a mother breastfeeding, you probably worry about everything you put in your, because if your kid's allergic to something, you can't be taking it either. So it goes a long way into that. Respect to women and Mother Days tomorrow. But no, that's a great point. And then it goes back to then you just buy the ingredients yourself, make your at-home pizza, make your own pizza at home, and you can do that too. That's kind of fun once in a while too, to just take on a big project like that. But
Sure, but most, if not all, are not going to do that.
No.
And they're going to do what's easy. I have to look up. I haven't looked up on fast food pizzas, what they have all in their ingredients. I have to look it up.
But home run pizza at Walmart, huh?
Yeah.
And what,
Okay.
I'm thinking right away. I had my first punch pizza. What's it called? Punch pizza.
Punch. Yeah.
The other day. That seems like it's an actual hand toss rolled out, legit fire brick, pizza, right?
It's I mean, it looks from the surface, it looks decent.
Yeah.
I
I don't know. It tasted good. That was like 3-4 weeks ago, but I'd never had one before.
I think it's what they put in the dough.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's right away I'm thinking about the dough. Dough and the
1,000 pounds
cheese.
of dough and
Yeah, so that's what I'm wondering if I don't know how expensive it is to make dough. I don't cook that well. But if you want
That's
a pizza,
for another podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying if you want a pizza, do it right rather than buying a Jack's.
Yeah, I mean, they have that. If you look up the fat head pizzas, I know Mark Bell is huge in making those. He went keto right away, and it's pretty cool that it just takes such a long time to make them, like you're saying. So
like the cauliflower?
He mixes, I think it's like almond flour with cream cheese and something else. You gotta spread out this parchment paper, and you just rip the parchment paper apart. And so when you're done destroying that, you pretty much call Domino's. So if you can make it happen, though, I'll do you. But it's tough.
Oh shit.
So yeah, but I did have a successful run, like 1 of 3, and it was really good. It just takes a lot of time to make it.
You just do a pizza.
Yeah, but now I'm really pumped up to stop by Walmart later and check out the home run pizza, because
they're okay.
Okay.
Not amazing, but they're good. I mean, if you want a pizza and you don't want soy, I don't know.
Yeah, well, if they're listening, we still could use another sponsor.
Yeah.
So,
home run pizza.
yeah, or if Haggies, I know they're local. If you're listening,
If they have soy,
yeah. Well, we could cut that.
we don't mind.
No, that's good. Anything else? Anything else you got in your mind, or?
I don't think so. I really would encourage anybody to come out and try the grip contest. We're definitely going to help you. Don't have to have any experience. Just like we saw today, you've never had to do these implements, and these guys are hitting great numbers on the Iron Hub today. Great numbers.
And another reason to come out too is, guys, I met Joel a little while ago before he came on the podcast, but ever since he's come on, just building new relationships and friendships through the gym, through strength, through the iron, goes such a long way. To have him back again today and take us through those things is very, very awesome. And that's why coming out next week or in a few weeks here, just to meet other people that are like-minded, and you'll probably find some new workout partners, if anything, for the future, which you can't walk in any gym and have that, because everyone has their own mindset and their own, I'm going to be the beach body for summer. You're going to meet some grip nerds, and you're going to have a good time.
Oh, yeah. And then it gives you a face to recognize, at the gym now, or someone new, because there's nothing worse than going to a new place and you don't know anybody. You kind of have the head down. You're trying to figure out what you're going to do. Now you know someone. Now you're more confident. You feel good.
And then again, Joel, if people want to follow you on Instagram and kind of keep up with what you're doing, what's your Instagram link?
It's just my name, Joel Dirks, DIRCKS.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nick, what's yours?
At nick.kinda.thick with 2 C's.
Always. I'm a writer, R-E-I-T-E-R, Torque 60 or Torque SC 63.
That's awesome. Okay, so give those guys.
What about you, Mad Dog?
Oh, yeah, what about you?
You have
you
Mad Dog has an Instagram account. It took a year.
Yeah, I just started last week, so I think I'm at like 10 followers now. So if you guys are out there,
You're at 95 last night. I creeped on you.
You added a picture even.
yeah, I did.
Yeah, he's got like 6 of them.
Yeah, I said I'd give it a month to purposely get myself out of my comfort zone, see how it goes.
Nice.
And just take it slow. So it's a lot of meathead stuff, but that's what I do.
That's
I love
all we
it.
do,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
So if you're, give it a like or give it a follow, whatever you do. So
Nice.
it's been fun.
Yeah.